Exodus 28. The priestly garments, the ephod, the breastpiece, and other priest garment. Have Aaron your brother brought to you from among the Israelites, along with his sons Nadab and Abihu, Eleazar and Ithamar, so that they may serve me as priests. Make sacred garments for your brother Aaron to give him dignity and honor. Tell all the skilled workers to whom I have given wisdom in such matters that they are to make garments for Aaron, for his consecration. These are the garments they are to make: a breastpiece, an ephod, a robe, a woven tunic, a turban, and a sash. They are to make these sacred garments for your brother Aaron and his sons, so that they may serve me as priests. Have them use gold and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and fine linen. The ephod, make the ephod of gold, and of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and of finely twisted linen, the work of skilled hands. It is to have 2 shoulder pieces attached to 2 of its corners, so it can be fastened. Its skillfully woven waistband is to be like it of one piece with the ephod, and made with gold and with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and with finely twisted linen. Take 2 onyx stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel in the order of their birth, 6 names on one stone, and the remaining 6 on the other. Engrave the names of the sons of Israel on the 2 stones the way a gem cutter engraves a seal. Then mount the stones in gold filigree settings and fasten them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as memorial stones for the sons of Israel. Aaron is to bear the names on his shoulders as a memorial before the Lord. Make gold filigree settings and 2 braided chains of pure gold, like a rope, and attach the chains to the settings. The breastpiece, fashion a breastpiece for making decisions, the work of skilled hands. Make it like the ephod, of gold and of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and of finely twisted linen. It is to be square, a span long and a span wide and folded double. Then mount 4 rows of precious stones on it. The first row shall be carnelian, chrysolite, and beryl. The second row shall be turquoise, lapis lazuli, and emerald. The third row shall be jacinth, agate, and amethyst. The fourth row shall be topaz, onyx, and jasper. Mount them in gold filigree settings.
There are to be 12 stones, 1 for each of the names of the sons of Israel, each engraved like a seal with the name of one of the 12 tribes. For the breastpiece, make braided chains of pure gold, like a rope. Make 2 gold rings for it and fasten them to 2 corners of the breastpiece. Fasten the 2 gold chains to the rings at the corners of the breastpiece, and the other ends of the chains to the 2 settings, attaching them to the shoulder pieces of the ephod at the front. Make 2 gold rings and attach them to the other 2 corners of the breastpiece on the inside edge next to the ephod. Make 2 more gold rings and attach them to the bottom of the shoulder pieces on the front of the ephod, close to the seam just above the waistband of the ephod. The rings of the breastpiece are to be tied to the rings of the ephod with blue cord, connecting it to the waistband so that the breastpiece will not swing out from the ephod. Whenever Aaron enters the holy place, he will bear the names of the sons of Israel over his heart on the breastpiece of decision as a continuing memorial before the Lord. Also, put the Urim and the Thummim in the breastpiece, so they may be over Aaron's heart whenever he enters the presence of the Lord. Thus, Aaron will always bear the means of making decisions for the Israelites over his heart before the Lord. Other priestly garments, make the robe of the ephod entirely of blue cloth, with an opening for the head in its center. There shall be a woven edge like a collar around this opening, so that it will not tear. Make pomegranates of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn around the hem of the robe, with gold bells between them. The gold bells and the pomegranates are to alternate around the hem of the robe. Aaron must wear it when he ministers. The sound of the bells will be heard when he enters the holy place before the Lord, and when he comes out, so that he will not die. Make a plate of pure gold and engrave on it as on a seal, "Holy to the Lord." Fasten a blue cord to it to attach it to the turban. It is to be on the front of the turban. It will be on Aaron's forehead, and he will bear the guilt involved in the sacred gifts the Israelites consecrate. Whatever their gifts may be, it will be on Aaron's forehead continually so that they will be acceptable to the Lord. Weave the tunic of fine linen and make the turban of fine linen. The sash is to be the work of an embroiderer. Make tunics, sashes, and caps for Aaron's sons to give them dignity and honor. After you put these clothes on your brother Aaron and his sons, anoint and ordain them. Consecrate them so they may serve me as priests. Make linen undergarments as a covering for the body, reaching from the waist to the thigh. Aaron and his sons must wear them whenever they enter the tent of meeting or approach the altar to minister in the holy place. so that they will not incur guilt and die. This is to be a lasting ordinance for Aaron and his descendants. Exodus 28 Teachings and Lessons 1. The priestly garments teach that ministry requires dignity. Make sacred garments for your brother Aaron to give him dignity and honor. Aaron wasn't naturally dignified. This is the same Aaron who built the golden calf, the same Aaron who caved to pressure. But when he put on these garments, he became something more than himself. The clothes didn't make him perfect, but they reminded him and the people that this role was sacred. He wasn't just Aaron the guy. He was Aaron the high priest representing the people before God for us. When you serve God, you are not just you. You are representing something bigger. There is a dignity to ministry that should affect how you carry yourself. Not pride, dignity, holy confidence that you are doing something eternal. 2. The shoulder stones teach that leaders carry weight. Aaron is to bear the names on his shoulders as a memorial before the Lord. 6 names on one onyx stone, 6 on the other. On his shoulders are for carrying burdens, weight, and responsibility. Every time Aaron went into the tabernacle, he carried the 12 tribes on his shoulders. Their names were engraved in stone, permanent, unremovable, always there. For us, if you lead, you carry. The people you lead aren't just names on a roster. They're weighing on your shoulders. You bear them before God. You advocate for them. You are responsible for them. Leadership isn't a title. It is a burden. And notice, the stones were onyx, beautiful, precious. The people you lead, they're precious to God. Handle with care. 3. The breastpiece teaches that love carries closest Israel over his heart on the breastpiece of decision. Shoulders equals strength, responsibility, burden, heart equals love, affection, emotion. Aaron carried the people on his shoulders duty and over his heart love. He didn't just perform duties for them, he carried them close, right over his heart. With every heartbeat, they were there. For us, do you carry people over your heart or just on your shoulders? The 12 stones teach that every person matters individually. There are to be 12 stones, one for each of the names of the sons of Israel, each engraved like a seal with the name of one of the 12 tribes. 12 different stones: Carnelian, Chrysolite, beryl, turquoise, Lapis, Lazuli, emerald, jacinth, agate, amethyst, topaz, onyx, jasper. Different colors, different values, different appearances. Each stone unique, each stone engraved with a name. Not the tribe of Joseph generically, a specific name for us. God doesn't do generic. He knows your name. You are not just part of a crowd. You are an individual stone in his breastpiece, precious to him, known by name. And the diversity matters. Different stones make the breastpiece beautiful. Different people make the body beautiful. The Urim and Thummim teach that God guides his people. Also put the Urim and the Thummim in the breastpiece, so they may be over Aaron's heart whenever he enters the presence of the Lord. Urim and Thummim, lights and perfections, or revelation and truth. These were objects used to discern God's will. When the nation needed guidance, the priest consulted God through these. We don't know exactly how they worked. Maybe they glowed. Maybe they gave yes/no answers. But we know this: God provided a way for his people to know his will. For us, you have something better than Urim and Thummim. You have the Holy Spirit living inside you. God's guidance isn't in an object you carry. It is in a person who indwells you. You don't need to consult stones. You need to listen to the Spirit. 6. The bells and pomegranates teach that ministry should be heard and fruitful. Make pomegranates of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn around the hem of the robe, with gold bells between them. Bells equals sound. Pomegranates equals fruitfulness. When Aaron ministered, the bells rang. They heard him coming. He didn't sneak into God's presence. And the pomegranates, symbols of fertility, abundance, life, decorated the hem. For us, your ministry should be heard, not silent, not hidden and fruitful, producing life, not just activity. The two go together. If you are making noise but not producing fruit, it is just noise. If you are producing fruit but nobody knows, maybe it is time to let the bells ring. 7. The bells also teach that life and death are real. The sound of the bells will be heard when he enters the holy place, so that he will not die. This is intense. The bells weren't just for decoration. They were for verification. As long as the people heard bells, they knew Aaron was alive in there. If the bells stopped, he died in God's presence. Serving God is not casual. it is not safe. It is life and death serious. 8. The gold plate teaches that holiness covers imperfection. Make a plate of pure gold and engrave on it, "Holy to the Lord." It will be on Aaron's forehead, and he will bear the guilt involved in the sacred gifts. This is beautiful. Aaron wore "Holy to the Lord" on his forehead, declaring whose he was and who he represented. But here is the amazing part: that plate bears the guilt of the imperfect offerings. The people brought gifts, grain, wine, animals. But their gifts weren't perfect. Their hearts weren't pure. Their best was still flawed. But Aaron, wearing holiness, stood in the gap. His presence made their gifts acceptable. For us, Jesus is our "Holy to the Lord." He bears the guilt of our imperfect worship, our flawed service, our mixed motives. When we come through him, our offerings are acceptable, not because we're perfect, but because he is. He covers our guilt. 9. Ordinance teaches that this points to someone greater. This is to be a lasting ordinance for Aaron and his descendants. Aaron's line would continue this ministry for generations, but eventually the line would run out. The temple would be destroyed. The garments would be lost. But the writer of Hebrews tells us there is another priest, Jesus, in the order of Melchizedek, not Aaron. His priesthood doesn't depend on genealogy. It doesn't depend on garments. It depends on his eternal life for us. Everything in Exodus 28 points forward. The shoulder stones point to Jesus carrying us. The breastpiece points to Jesus loving us. The gold plate points to Jesus making us acceptable.
Subscribe, like, comment, and hit notification button for more videos, more Bible study, and more Bible knowledge. We got you.